Welcome back to New Rockstars, I'm Erik Voss, and El Camino is the Breaking Bad epilogue following Jesse Pinkman. In the days following the finale episode, it's a slow burn western that doesn't aim to fix or revise anything about Vince Gilligan's perfect ending, but rather a more conclusive end to an open ending for a guy who loves saying bitch.
Bitch! Bitch! Yeah, bitch.
This film contained a number of significant tie-ins with Breaking Bad, cameos, subtle callbacks, meaningful symbols. I'm gonna quickly break down all of these Easter eggs.
I was thinking of Easter eggs.
And spoiler warning if you haven't seen the movie yet.
Bitch.
Okay, the film opens on a flashback with Mike Ehrmantraut, set in season 5 when Jesse and Mike decided to leave Walt's meth business after all the dark turns with shooting kid witnesses and working with neo-Nazis. This is the same Riverside where, shortly after this meeting with Jesse, Walt shot Mike and where Mike died while watching this water flow past. For both Mike and Jesse, this must have been one of their final moments of freedom when they still thought that they could cut ties with Walt peacefully. Here they discuss where to go next, and Mike suggests,
yeah, if I were your age, starting fresh, Alaska is the last frontier.
at the end of the film, this is actually where Jesse ends up. And actually, some time ago, Aaron Paul gave Alaska as an answer to his ideal destiny for Jesse during a Reddit AMA. Jesse hopes that he'll finally be able to put things right after retiring, but Mike responds,
No. Sorry, kid, that's the one thing you can never do.
This line serves as a kind of meta promise for this El Camino film. The past is in the past. Jesse can't right any past wrongs, and this movie can't change anything from the Breaking Bad finale, and it doesn't want to. It's only about opening up and suggesting a future chapter. If you watch Better Call Saul, which you should, it's amazing, it explores Mike's backstory as a grieving father of a cop's son who was killed as part of a corruption deal gone bad. Mike has been able to change that dark past by being overprotective now, so he warns Jesse to not worry about the past and blaze a new path with a fresh start. We jump to the present day. Jesse's fleeing Jack's compound, screaming, drumming the steering wheel. He evades police and makes it to the home of Badger and Skinny Pete. Now, you can look at Jesse's return here as kind of a resurrection of Christ. His body is covered in lashing scars. Pete and Badger are doubting Thomases, initially not recognizing Jesse, but treating him with this kind of reverence. They adore him as a hero. They give over everything they have to him. Like Jesus, Jesse's humanity comes from his suffering. Now, in this pseudo-resurrected state, his journey in this film is that of a ghost trying to transition from one life to the next. While in Pete's room, there's a moment where Jesse looks up at the ceiling to see the smoke detector. Seeing it triggers him to roll out of bed. The shot is just like the final image of the famous Fly episode of Breaking Bad, in which Walt and Jesse are haunted by a literal fly in their ointment that represented the lingering issues between them, and Walt's inability to just move forward. The fly continued to haunt Walt in the final shot of that episode, its silhouette flashing briefly on the red light of the smoke detector. Similarly, Jesse here has unfinished business. He doesn't want to end up like Walt, and interestingly, other pests continue to play major symbolic roles in this movie. Jesse calls old Joe from the scrapyard in an attempt to dispose his El Camino, as they previously used him to dispose the RV. Joe recalls the season 5 premiere episode when he hooked them up with that super magnet to destroy evidence, but the El Camino registers in the police system, so Joe bounces, leaving Badger, Pete, and Jesse to swap cars and split up. Todd, the psychopath, Jesse Plemons, returns via flashback to Jesse's imprisonment. Todd makes Jesse help him move the body of his cleaning lady after she found Todd's hidden cash that Jesse now needs. Todd's apartment has a few terrifying Easter eggs. He kept as a pet the tarantula caught by Drew Sharp, the kid on the dirt bike that he murdered. The way that the tarantula was entombed in a jar foreshadowed the way Todd and Walt disposed of that kid. And now Todd creepily keeps it, almost as a kind of trophy. Now there's a second creepy Easter egg in this apartment, but before I continue, thanks to Honey for sponsoring this episode. You ever buy something online and then find out that you could have gotten it for less if you just knew the right discount? You kind of feel like a Jesse Pinkman, always missing out on the easy option, always one foot in a porta potty. Luckily, there's Honey, the free browser extension that, in the click of one button, scans the internet for coupon codes and automatically applies the best one to your cart at checkout. Honey knows about every coupon code, sale, discount on over 20,000 sites like Amazon, eBay, Target, GameStop, Best Buy. It's got all the scoops. And you can just shop like normal, and Honey's got your back. They're doing all the work in the background to save you that money. Honey has successfully applied 185 million working codes to people's orders last year. And my subscribers who have downloaded Honey have already saved over 100,000 bucks. You can be one of them. I went on Newegg to buy some parts for my computer, and I saved $110.59, savings that I will use to buy a keyboard that doesn't have an E missing. You know, you pop that out by hitting Shift E for "Hi, I'm Erik Voss." At the start of hundreds of videos, it's been a real problem. Or as I write it, problem. Honey installation is super easy. Just go to joinhoney.com/newrockstars, and 2 clicks later, there you go. Honey's for everyone because it works for practically anything you buy online. Downloading it is easy, just takes 2 clicks to install. There's really no reason not to use Honey. It's free to use, and you can install it on your computer in just 2 clicks. Join Honey for free at joinhoney.com/newrockstars. That's joinhoney.com/newrockstars. Thanks again to Honey for sponsoring this episode. Okay, back to Todd's creepy apartment. Later, we see that he also keeps a custom snow globe featuring a figurine of himself, and it looks like Lydia sitting on a teacup for her obsession with tea and stevia. The stevia that Walt poisoned gets a nod in this film. There's a news report of Walter White's latest victim, a Houston woman in the hospital who probably wouldn't survive. Jesse eventually finds Todd's hidden cash inside the fridge door right as 2 men arrive whom he thinks are cops, but are really just looters after the same cash that Jesse is. One is Neil Candy, the welder who rigged up the harness and wire that imprisoned Jesse in Jack's meth lab, with Todd and Kenny returning in a flashback. Neil is played by Scott MacArthur, who plays a similar bastard in The Righteous Gemstones on HBO. Jesse gets away with a third of the cash, but that isn't enough for Ed, Mr. Disappear, who demands payment for both this relocation and the one that Jesse bailed on in season 5. While talking with Jesse, he refers to his former boss and his lawyer. Ed relocated Walt to New Hampshire and Saul to Omaha, where Saul can be seen working in the Cinnabon, and various flash forwards throughout the series Better Call Saul. Jesse steals guns from his parents and tracks down Neil and his buddies as they celebrate. While casing the place, Jesse finds this beetle. This is a callback to that moment in season 2 in the Peekaboo episode, which opened with Jesse meeting with Skinny Pete, briefly touching this beetle by his feet before Pete just crushed it. It was a moment that revealed Jesse's gentle nature, how he doesn't want to kill unless he has to, and how much it really crushes him to do that. Similarly, Jesse doesn't enter that building guns a-blazing. He simply asks Neil for just $1,800, the exact amount of money that he needs to just disappear and get out of this mess. But Neil challenges Jesse to a Western-style quick draw, which Jesse wins by having a second gun hidden in his other pocket. His whole calm demeanor here, with a literal trick up his sleeve, seems a lot like the kind of move he would pick up from Walt, both the time Walt confronted Tuco in season 1 and when he confronted Jack's gang in season 5 to save Jesse. So by killing Neil, Jesse is able to find another breath of redemption, achieving revenge against a man who literally built the mechanism of his slavery, knowing what it would be used for and continuing to laugh it off in Jesse's face. After Jesse blows up the place, a flashback takes us back a few years earlier when Jesse was on an overnight cook trip with Walt, with Bryan Cranston returning for a cameo. In this hotel room, Jesse's on the phone with a girlfriend.
Well, do you miss me?
Yeah, this is most likely Jane, setting this moment in season 2. A shot of their RV parked outside has the taped over bullet holes from the pilot episode. So in the Owl Cafe, Jesse lets off the one pitch of this film at the salad bar.
Yeah, bitch.
Walt asks him about his future, looks out the window, pondering,
You're really lucky, you know that? You didn't have to wait your whole life to do something special.
It's a sad moment that reveals how Walt looked at a lifetime of happiness building a family as a waste. But this memory teaches Jesse that whatever unhappy life he has lived so far, he, like Walt, can always redefine himself and find a new purpose and live on in a brand new life under his own terms. Ed brings Jesse to Alaska, where Jesse hands him a letter to mail. If you look closely, you can see it's addressed to Brock, Andrea's son. So as Jesse drives off, he recalls a trip he took with Jane, Kristen Ritter, returning for a cameo, when she corrected an earlier statement. Now, that's a callback to her line at the beginning of the flashback that opened the season 3 episode when they went to the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum.
You open yourself up and go with the flow wherever the universe takes you.
Now, Jane applies a new meaning to that statement.
I was being metaphorical. It's a terrible philosophy.
And now Jesse moves forward with a purpose, driving off into the Alaskan frontier. The final image creates this elegant symmetry with Jesse's final shot in Felina. Before, he screamed wildly as he drove off into the nighttime desert covered in filth, but now he calmly cruises in clean, comfortable clothes in the morning snow. What do you think of El Camino as a Breaking Bad epilogue? Comment down below with your thoughts. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EA Voss, and subscribe to New Rockstars for breakdowns of everything you love. Thanks for watching, bitch. I'm sorry, you're not a bitch. I shouldn't use that word.